great plan. We've absolutely got to stop them, Sophie cried. Put me back in your pocket, quick, and we'll chase after them and warn everyone in England they're coming. Redunculous and impossible. They is going 2 times as fast as me, and they is finishing their guzzle before we is halfway. But we can't just sit here doing nothing. How many boys and girls are they going to eat tonight? Many. The flesh-lump-eating giant alone has a most squackling, wopsy appetite. Will he snatch them out of the beds while they're sleeping? Like peas out of a puddle, the BFG said. I can't bear to think of it, Sophie cried. Then don't. For years and years, I is sitting here on this very rock every night after night when they is galloping away, and I is feeling so sad for all the human beings they is going to gobble up. But I has had to get used to it. There is nothing I can do. If I wasn't a titchy little runty giant only 24 feet high, then I would be stopping them. But that is absolutely out of the window. I think he means out of the question. This is interesting. The BFG hasn't done anything, but he tries to help by delivering good dreams. But Sophie comes and she immediately wants to take action. I think this shows Sophie's courage and thinking. Do you always know where they're going? Sophie asked. Always. Every night they's yelling at me as they go boodling past. The other day they was yelling, "We is off to Mississippi and Missouri to guzzle them both." Mississippi, Missouri. She's so clever. Disgusting. I hate them. She and the big friendly giant sat quietly side by side on the blue rock in the gathering dusk. Sophie had never felt so helpless in her life. After a while, she stood up and cried out, "I can't stand it! Just think of those poor girls and boys who are going to be eaten alive in a few hours' time. We can't just sit here and do nothing. We've got to go after those brutes." "No," the BFG said. "We must," Sophie cried. "Why won't you go?" The BFG sighed and shook his head firmly. "I have told you 5 or 6 times," and he said, "and the third will be the last. I am never showing myself to human beings." "Why ever not?" "If I do, they will be putting me in the zoo with all the jiggy raffs and caddy piddlers." "Nonsense." "And they will be sending you straight back to an orphanage," the BFG went on. "Grown-up human beings is not famous for their kindness. They is all squiffle-rothers and grink sludgers." BFG's got a point here. "That simply isn't true. Some of them are very kind indeed." "Who?" the BFG said. "Name one." "The Queen of England. You can't call her a squiffle-rotter or a grink sludger." "Well," the BFG said, "you can't call her a squeak-pip or a nut-muncher either," Sophie said, getting angrier and angrier. "The flesh-lump-eater is longing dearly to guzzle her up," the BFG said, smiling a little now. "Who? The Queen?" Sophie cried, aghast. "Yes," the BFG answered. "Flesh-lump-eater says he has never eaten Queen, and he thinks perhaps she has an especially scrumdiddlyunctious flavor." "How dare he!" "But the flesh-lump-eater says there is too many soldiers around her palace, and he dursn't try it." "He'd better not." "He's also saying he would like very much to guzzle one of the soldiers in his pretty red suit, but he is worrying about those big black furry hats they is wearing. He thinks they might be sticking in his throat. I hope he chokes." "Flesh-lump-eater is a very careful giant," the BFG said. Sophie was silent for a few moments. Then, suddenly, in a voice filled with excitement, she cried out, "I've got it! By golly, I think I've got it!" "Got what?" asked the BFG. "The answer!" cried Sophie. "We'll go to the Queen!" "It's a terrific idea. If I went and told the Queen about those disgusting man-eating giants, I'm sure she'll do something about it." The BFG looked down at her sadly and shook his head. "She is never believing you. Never in a month of Mondays." People say a month of Sundays. "I think she would." "Never. It is sounding such a wonky tall story. The Queen will be laughing and saying, 'What awful rub squash.'" "She would not." "No, she would not." "Of course she would. I have told you before that human beings is simply not believing in giants." "Then it's up to us to find a way of making her believe in them." "And how is you getting in to see the Queen anyway?" "Now just hold on a sec. Just you hold on a sec, because I've got another idea." "Your ideas is full of crodswoggle, the BFG said. "Not this one. You say that if we tell the Queen, she would never believe us?" "I am certain she wouldn't." But we aren't going to tell her, Sophie said. We don't have to tell her. We'll make her dream it. That is an even more froth-bungling suggestion, the BFG said. Dreams is lots of fun, but nobody is believing in dreams either. You was only believing in a dream while you was actually dreaming it. But as soon as you was waking up and you was saying, oh, thank goodness, that was only a dream. Don't you worry about that part of it, Sophie said. I can fix that. Never can you fix it. I can. I swear I can. But first of all, let me ask you a very important question. Here it is. Can you make a person dream absolutely anything in the world? Anything you like, the BFG said proudly. If I said I wanted to dream that I was flying a bathtub with silver wings, could you make me dream it? I could. But how? Sophie said. You obviously don't have exactly that dream in your collection. I do not, but I soon could be mixing it up. How could you mix it up? It is a little bit like mixing a cake, the BFG said. If you was putting the right amount of all the different things into it, you was making a cake come out any way you want. Sugary, spongy, curranty, Christmassy, or grobswitchy. It is the same with dreams. Go on. I has dillions of dreams on my shelves, right or left. Right. I has dreams about bathtubs, lots of them. I have dreams about silver wings. I has dreams about flying. So all I has to do is mix those dreams together in the proper way, and I is very quickly making a dream where you was flying in a bathtub with silver wings. I see what you mean, Sophie said, but I didn't know you could mix one dream with another. Dreams like being mixed, the BFG answered. They're getting very lonesome all by themselves in those glassy bottles. Right, Sophie said. But then, do you have dreams about the Queen of England? Lots of them. And about giants? Of course. And about giants eating people? Swiggles of them. And about little girls like me? That is the commonest of all. I has bottles and bottles of dreams about little girls. And you could mix them all up just as you wanted, just as I want you to? Sophie asked, getting more and more excited. Of course. But how is this helping us? I think you is barking up the wrong dog. Now hold on. Listen carefully. I want you to mix a dream in which you will blow into the Queen of England's bedroom while she is asleep. And this is how it will go. We're stopping there for next part.